heads up that this was going to be broken in the Daily Mail?
Yeah, I mean, this I had a call from Riyadh this morning, and it's been going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we saw the Daily Mail article this morning. I think we've just seen the British Boxing Board of Control statement, which is, you know, pretty straightforward, and it's with the lawyers going backwards and forwards right now. Both guys signed up to a multitude of testing for this fight. The UKAD testing, which is obviously the testing agency that the British Boxing Board of Control use and are governed by, have all been clear and negative, and there was an adverse finding on VADA test previously. So there's not been an official doping violation. There's a process that has to be gone through. Conor Benn is not suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control. Ultimately, he can't be because he's passed all the tests from UKAD, but clearly the British Boxing Board of Control will take a position on it. We'll deal with the lawyers. Both camps have been made aware, of course, previously to the article coming out about the situation, and both camps prepared to progress with the fight. But ultimately, the conversations have to be had with the lawyers and the teams and the British Boxing Board of Control. Have
you spoken to Conor this morning, and when will we likely to hear from him, do you think?
You'll see him here. I mean, look, it's a very difficult situation from him. Obviously, you know, we've seen previously people make their mind up before any news or information or evidence comes out. So it's a very difficult time for him. He'll be in here, you know, going through the process, and it's a difficult time for everyone. Chris Eubank, you know, anyone's going to feel sorry for us, but, you know, we've put a lot of work into this show, and we'll see what happens from here. But, you know, like I said, from Eubank's side, from Conor Benn's side, they feel the fight should progress. He's not suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control, but ultimately they're the governing body, and we will have to have conversations with them through the lawyers and to see where this process ends.
I know you've got an exceptional working relationship with the Sauerlands, and I know your lines of communication would have been positive this morning, but is there any chance that this has any implications for the contracted weight on Friday, the rehydration clause, or any of the stipulations under which this fight was agreed Saturday night?
Maybe. I don't think really that's the talking point at the moment. The talking point is to get everybody comfortable with the position. You know, this is not Wasserman and Eubank just went, yeah, we'll just crack on. This is, they've examined the adverse findings. They've had medical advice from experts regarding these trace findings in these, and are prepared on the basis of, you know, Calla will talk further on that finding, to proceed with the bout. So everybody's comfortable with what they've seen from that side. So obviously the board, as of now, aren't comfortable with that, and we respect that, and we'll go through the process with them to ultimately see where that lands.
If the worst happens and the fight doesn't take place, will the show still go ahead?
Unlikely, I think, in all honesty. I mean, look, firstly, there is currently no reason in terms of suspension or, you know, violations that the fight should not take place. So the board actually, I mean, you remember a situation with Billy Joe Saunders where he actually tested positive with VADA ahead of the Andrade fight. The board did not suspend him because they don't recognise VADA, but Massachusetts did. So there's a complicated process to go through. Eubank Benn is the fight. Ultimately, that's, you know, if that fight doesn't take place, nor will the show. But, you know, we have to see where we go from here, because if the board aren't suspending Conor Benn, and they won't suspend Conor Benn, they don't have the right to under their jurisdiction with the test that he's been passing with UKAD, then if they're not allowing the fight, when do they allow the fight? You know, are we saying there's a delay while you want to have a hearing and we postpone the fight for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? You're not going to suspend Conor Benn. So at some point, the fight is going to take place. So, you know, it's fresh at the moment, and I'm happy to come on here and give everyone as much news as I can, but at the same time, there's a process that will be undertook.